Hey yo, what's up guys? I actually stumbled on this video called Why Do Men Dominate Chess? Here's the truth. I actually watched 30 seconds of this video and I thought it was quite interesting and I thought I have something to say towards it. So let's just play it and let's just, react to that.
There was a Kenyan student who entered a local chess competition and ended up being featured by New York Post, BBC and other major publications.
I mean, so far so good. Tournament, that guy played chess, yeah.
How come? It turned out that he played a shameless gambit. He disguised himself as woman and entered a female section.
There's the culprit. I would actually like to know if that's in the rules. Probably yeah. In those countries, Islam is prevalent. Because you are not gonna oversee if someone is a woman or not when you're wearing this. It's called burqa or something like that. You can correct me in the comments. Why did he do that actually? I would like to find out. Maybe he's gonna talk about that.
A former national chess champion and then Ugandan top female player, and after some time organizers figured it out and of course expelled him from the tournament.
How do you figure that out without telling that you did that? Was he there to cheat or was he there to make a social experiment?
Nevertheless, this raises the question, how come that men play chess so much better than women? I investigated it just out of curiosity and came up with three main differences in human psychology which actually go beyond chess. They were interesting, so I decided to share with you.
Alright, so that's the part where I actually stopped and decided to record. I didn't watch this video at all and I got my theories as well. Say two reasons. The first, and I think it's a minor reason, it is that boys usually do play chess more on average than women. If you consider a free time when you were a young bro, you are more likely to play chess than girls. And I don't feel like that's something which was forced on us, but we kind of we're interested in it, I guess. And the second reason, and I feel like the major reason, maybe he's gonna talk about it, maybe not. And I feel like, chess is a competitive game. And it has been proven that, first things first, we as guys have more testosterone than girls. Girls actually, or women, do create some minor amount of testosterone as well, but it's really negligible compared to men. And the thing is that we as a people have androgen receptors. Spoiler alert, testosterone is androgynous thingy. We got androgynous receptors all over the place, including our brain. And it has been proven that testosterone makes you more competitive. So, and if the chess is competitive game, it's gonna make you really good. We are gonna be really good at it if you get something in you which makes you more competitive. So yeah, that is my take on it, so let's just listen to his.
The first factor is IQ distribution. While the average IQ of men and women is the same, the distribution, the variety...
Alright, so before he gets into that deeper, I would like to point out, yeah, chess is about IQ, but apparently you don't need that much of an IQ to be a really good chess player. Like apparently there have been some actually like grandmasters who refused to take an IQ test because they would score like 130, which I mean is still a lot above average, but if we are talking about the best chess experts, it's they're actually told to be like 170 IQ, which is way more than 130. Yeah, I mean IQ can help, but women do score on IQ high as well. So yeah.
Different, meaning there are greater quantity of men with above average intelligence, and this is where you find Fishers and Carlsons of the world, but there is also greater quantity of men with below average intelligence. Therefore, while...
Yeah, but that wouldn't explain why he defeated all of them. If he defeated 95% of women, that would actually make this true, but let's just, continue.
In beautiful combinations of Mikhail Tal, we shouldn't forget that someone out there is trying scholars checkmate against you while you're rated 1100, and that guy is also a man. The next factor turns out to be a lot more interesting, but first let's look at this example when Magnus Carlsen is analyzing his game against Hui Fan, the second strongest female player.
Alright.
queen takes h5.
By the way, I'm not even gonna take a guess what's the best move right here. I'm not qualified enough to even be sitting here, let alone talking about this.
That's nice. Yeah, that's very nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Basically, Carlsen in this position suggested that black should move the knight to h5, giving this route for the queen to attack, rerouting one of the knights to this weak square, and arguing that black would have a great position, but Hui Fan calmly said queen h5. And it turns out that queen h5 is actually a brilliant sacrifice that turns things upside down. Now, after pawn takes, white's got this pawn takes d5 beautiful discover check, meaning black needs to move the king, but then white gets back the queen, then this pawn getting huge positional compensation for the rook. I mean, they're just winning. Something similar happened when Magnus played black against world's best female player of all time, Judith Polgar. Carlsen played here rook c8, a nice positional move, put in a
I would actually like to know who won, but maybe he's gonna tell that.
Rook to a semi-open file, but he blundered a tactical trick, bishop to b6, and now it's time for black to resign. The queen is attacked but can't move. If it moves away, there is queen takes d7 checkmate. However, it's all fun and really spectacular combinations, but when I checked actual tournament games between Carlsen and Hui Fan, they were all pretty much the same. Long maneuver in battle, go into an endgame, and Carlsen slowly but surely outplays and wins. Now,
yeah, so apparently he wins, but that was... I feel like he's gonna tell or say that men are less prone to sacrificing things, which, I mean, in chess is sometimes good, but probably it's better to, you know, slowly but surely having that solid defense, but let's just see what he says.
Trying to say here. There were different researches that found that men's and women's mental abilities might be different. They might be better at different aspects. For example, men seem to have superior spatial intelligence, while women are better at linguistic skills and abilities. Now, what does it mean for chess? It might be that because of that superior spatial intelligence, men are somewhat better with positional chess and long-term strategic planning. And because chess in a nutshell is a strategic game, it gives men some advantage, and that's why they mostly dominate. With that being said, so far I haven't talked about a pretty much...
Alright, so he said essentially what I meant, that it's better to, you know, build your impenetrable defense and, you know, look at the things from the long run. So yeah, but, you know, he basically says there are differences between our minds, but he didn't say why there are differences, and that's the point I wanted to point out, that it's the hormones actually. You know, I used to be in the communities where anabolic steroids were taken, even for women. And anabolic steroids, if you didn't know, they are androgynous. Androgynous, by the way, means like manly. And actually, if women, like for example, if she wants to be a bodybuilder at the top professional level, she basically needs to take something. And that actually that doesn't only change her muscle mass and so on, but also her behavior. Like, she almost acted like a man. Like, take it as you want to take it, but let me just say that hormones can literally change your mind.
Obvious factor called a participation gap. According to my YouTube analytics, among all of you guys and girls...
Yeah, by the way, that's the reason I was talking about, and I feel like that's a minor reason. And yeah, that's something as a result of something. Like the participation gap, I told that boys tend to incline into that more. By why? I'm gonna leave him floor to explain it, but I don't feel like he's gonna say why that happens.
Watching this video, there are only 12% women, and it's actually great because it used to be much lower before the Netflix
12% is actually
Gambit.
Yeah, 12% is actually way more than I expected, but yeah.
It was just 3. So girls, we need you here. Please come and join us. Now, the next question is, why there are so many men that are playing chess than women?
Yeah.
There are various theories around that.
Answer that, please.
Referring back to that wider distribution of different attributes among men, some say that in general there are more men that are disagreeable. By the way, if you guys want to disagree with that, that's okay. And also there
Agreeableness.
Agreeableness.
Agreeableness. Great word, never used it. By the way, I'm not native.
are more men that are aggressive, and disagreeableness paired with aggressiveness potentially makes men more prone to competitive.
Yeah, aggressiveness. Testosterone doesn't make you necessarily more aggressive, but more competitive. But people do change. You know, aggressiveness competitiveness can lead up to aggressiveness, but it's the core thing that are more competitive. Like, if I were to say extreme thing, like, if there was a competition in pegging, the man with more testosterone would win, because he's more competitive. Yeah, I know it's a little far too fetched, but it kind of makes sense if you think about it.
Competitive activities versus women who are more prone to collaborative activities. But of course here we stand on a shaky ground, as all these data is a little bit vague and not enough to make any decisive conclusions. Let me share with you another interesting fact as well, because a lot of you guys have been asking me, like, can I get to this level in chess? Am I too old for chess? Can I become a grandmaster, etc. So,
well, my man, grandmaster, I actually reached 1000 elo, and I realized that I'm never gonna have even 2000, so yeah.
let me answer all these questions. So first off, let's look at Chess.com Blitz leaderboard. Now what we can see here is that all these guys are mostly around 3200 rated. Now what's also crazy here, of course, is Hikaru playing 40,000 Blitz games alone, not counting bullet, standard, rapid. The guy never slips. Anyways, if you wish to become one of those guys,
it's about practice. Like, you can't be born with that. That's a hard work.
Probably need to be a man who was born with above average intelligence and who started playing chess before the age of 12, because statistically, if you started earlier than that, you're less likely to become a GM. However, if you wish to dominate pretty much everyone, you need none of that. Now let's look at the average Blitz rating on Chess.com, and the average is 630.
I can say, even though I'm pretty bad at chess, like everyone I meet in real life, being 1000 elo, I don't feel like I've ever lost to somebody, but they were, at max recreational players, so we can't really compare ourselves to average people, because it's actually so easy to suppress averageness in something, even in drawing. Like, try to draw something. If you're not artist, it's gonna suck, so it's easy for an artist to be an above average artist, so let's put it this way.
It's nothing super impressive, and therefore if you wish to dominate 80% of your potential chess opponents, you only need to get to the rating of approximately 1000, I guess, and if you wish to just dominate pretty much everyone, you need to get to the rating of 2000, and it's not required to be a genius to get there. If you want to know how I went from 1600 to 2260 in just 1 year, check out this video.
In 1 year? That's quite a huge leap. By the way, I had learned to play chess when I was like 19. Like, literally, I didn't know the moves. So being 1000 elo is a kind of win to me. Bottom line, I feel like, is the hormones. He thinks it's the distribution, it's the IQ. But even though there are probably less geniuses when it comes to women, statistic shows, or it would work statistically, like there wouldn't be like top 100 players only men. So he only showed us the data, he didn't tell us the reason, I feel like, but it was a great video, I would say. So I feel like the hormones are the fact that men are more dominant when it comes to chess. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, have a nice rest of the day, and bye bye.